So there's a super cool word that you mentioned ages ago to me. I can't say it. I can spell it.
Anosognosia. And it
Can you spell it? A-N-O-S, A-N-O-S-O-G-N, N-O-S-I-A?
Exactly. She wins $64,000. All right, now what does it mean?
Lack of self-awareness?
Lack of insight.
Lack of insight.
So this refers very often to people with restricting eating disorders where their weight is clinically low. And they do not see it.
And they actually don't see it.
No. There is a great clip online. It was one of the first videos I ever showed any patient. And it's a young Western, sort of like American girl looking in a full-length mirror, and she has her bra and panties on. And she's probably somewhere between 15 and 17, and she's a healthy weight. As the camera comes back and now it's behind her, all you see is a skeletal figure. So what she sees in the mirror is, I'm fat. That's how because you can see she's tugging at her stomach and she's making sort of a disdainful face. And then as the camera pulls back, you see her back, and you can see the
bones, yeah.
The
bones. Violin.
Yes, and it was, it's impacting. Now I've spoiled it for you, but when you watch it, it's impacting.
Yeah.
So I think to me that's one of the best definitions of anosognosia.
Why did you tell me that word when we spoke many moons ago? What was
It's so important. I think that it fits in with the initial resistance to get treatment. How easy is it then to say, it's not that bad, or I'll change tomorrow, right? To minimize. Minimization is just a cousin to denial.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. And truly, if you believe that this is a brain-based illness, and I do, could it be that impacts the way we see things? I believe so.
But would you say that for people who are very underweight and anorexic, it's more brain-based, or like there's more stuff going on than the bulimics because their brain is literally, it has less fat, like transmitting signals?
That's hard to say, because with the purges, remember, one of the things that's really hard with bulimia is they see things differently too. So when you purge, there's a lot of fluid that's leaving your body very quickly. So your body reacts by trying to hold on to liquid. So it'll pocket in different places. So sometimes we'll take a look at people's ankles, their wrists, and even the parotid glands, which are behind your jaws. And when somebody's purging with high frequency, the salivary glands will deposit fluid there. So it gets sort of a chipmunk kind of look. But that's your body's natural reaction to saying, we've lost too much fluid, we don't know what's going on.
How long does it take for that to go away?
I'd say 2 or 3 days.
Oh, not bad.
With no purging.
Yeah.
So that's the hard part. But then the second chapter for that is, if you have edema in your ankles and your wrists, right, or your face, what would the person with bulimia interpret that as?
That or
exactly.
Whatever.
So at that point, you've got a cycle, and very often they'll double down on the behavior or switch over to restricting. There's a lot of symptom substitution in eating disorders. So if I'm restricting and then I'm made to eat a lot, then I may switch to purging because I can't tolerate all the food. If I'm in treatment, I may say, well, I'm going to eat 3 meals and 3 snacks a day, but I'm going to make sure it's all really healthy. Or I'm going to work out 4 hours a day.
Like low calorie healthy? Is that what you mean?
Non-dense foods.
Yes.
Like iceberg lettuce.
Yes.
Kind of, it's mostly water. Or the person who says, I'll just work out 4 hours a day because I want to control where the weight goes. So in refeeding, most of the weight you're going to have at the first point, if somebody is really malnourished, you're not going to see the weight gain. They might gain a significant quantity of weight and you're not going to notice it because that's cellular repair. At another point, you probably are going to see what we call a refeeding belly. And
Wow.
that's a trigger for the patient. It's like, well, now my pants don't fit, which is why we say bring pants of different sizes or elastic. With proper activity and continued cessation of behaviors, whether it's restricting or purging or what have you, that will redistribute to your baby finger, your elbow, your nose, your toes. It will, but it's got to be consistent.
Wow.
Have you been to Chuck E. Cheese? It's a playground for toddlers, and they have a game there called Whack-A-Mole.
Yeah.
And you hit one mole down and two pop up in different places. You hit those two, and again, you might get three in all different places. That part of recovery is very often like Whack-A-Mole, and it's hard to manage because it's morphing.
That's what I found when I tried it myself. That's when the orthorexia showed up, and I was like, oh, wait, man, you're messing with me again. Or like when the overexercise happened, like all of these things that I used to try to repair just got subsumed by it and became it. It just got like, it was like, a ball rolling down a hill and getting bigger and bigger and bigger, or a snowball.
Well, don't you think unconsciously, if we believe that it served a function that we perceived as beneficial, we really don't want it all to go away. Maybe we just need to change this or tweak that, and we can still keep, a vestige of it.
Right. One of the things that was interesting for me as I got better was things that I had, things that I came to abuse, like exercise, or only eating non-dense foods. Like, as I was starting to really advantage myself of a recovery program process, initially I had to stay away from all the things that I had abused, like exercise. I was very careful about it.
Yep.
Because my brain, I couldn't trust it to not wrap itself around it in the wrong way. I had forced myself to eat non-dense foods for 20 years, and it was almost I hate using this word but it was almost triggering for me to eat them. It would
Probably was.
Yeah. And so I just stayed away from them because they were the tools of the eating disorder. And then as I started to really get better, I wanted to live a life where I would eat healthfully and I exercise. I like to move my body, and I do like to not, I don't want to be hugely overweight, or I don't want to be. And it was this relationship with how to allow myself to do those things and not have them get perversified. Because every tool I had tried to grab onto as a lifeline when I was eating disordered just became a weapon against me and became a substitution. And so it really is how your mind manipulates those things, not the things themselves that become the problem. There's something that the eating disorder does that changes that.
You want to be
calculus.
able to go to a party
Yeah.
if they're serving pizza and be able to have pizza and not skip the meal because you don't eat that. If it's a taste preference,
Definitely.
that's one thing. But the next day, you might have a craving for a salad. That's understandable. Then have the salad. So as long as you can do it intermittently and it doesn't impair your life. Getting back to your point about exercise, there's a difference between exercise and activity. So the way that it's defined in sort of eating disorder lingo is that exercise is meant to change the size and shape of your body. Activity is about being active. It can be running, but it's about getting the endorphin rush or feeling my heart or going running with a buddy, spending the time therein. It doesn't have to be, just breathing. It can be a strenuous activity, but it's not meant or intended to lose weight. A lot of times what we would recommend is to set time periods for exercise and to journal on urges and what happened. Did they turn into behaviors? And if so, what skills can you use? Another skill that we recommend is go with somebody. Go to the gym with somebody if that's where you want to go. Go running with a person and let them know ahead, hey, I just want to run for a half hour. Something like that. So being transparent is part of another skill.